What's up, guys? It's your boy Jordan, back with another e-commerce video, and I apologize for how long it's been since I dropped another valuable video on you guys, so I wanted to come back properly with a bang. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about lookalike audiences. I'm going to break down exactly what a lookalike audience is, the best strategies for launching lookalike audiences, and why I believe they are one of the most powerful ways to scale a product to higher figures. I want to apologize about the lighting at the moment. I don't have my tripod with me. It's being shipped currently over. If you didn't know, this is my new apartment. And once I get the tripod, I'll be able to set it up over there so I can use the window lighting and yada, yada, yada. But anyways, guys, I'm going to switch over to my computer anyways, so we will have good lighting over there once we get into the topic of discussion. If you like the quality of my content, give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate you if you did that. Also, I have a free Facebook mastermind group if you're interested in looking for more entrepreneurs to network with or various other strategies to grow your business. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Once again, I just have to apologize for the lack of the audio quality in this video. Typically, I use a blue snowball mic to record my videos and it sounds much better. So if you're new to the channel, I typically produce higher quality content than this, but the value in this video is going to be absolutely insane. So right now, we're going to break down what is a lookalike audience, the best strategy for them, which country should you target, and ultimately, how can you scale these lookalike audiences to higher numbers. So listen, guys, if you didn't already know, lookalike audiences are actually the thing that has allowed me to scale to 5-figure days and consistently do 6 figures a month. Now, interest targeting helps me get there as well, but lookalikes are the things that really help me push beyond and get to that further level just based off of the fact that they are so powerful. So for those who don't know, right now I want to go in and actually break down what a lookalike audience is. So what is a lookalike audience? A lookalike audience is basically an audience created by Facebook in which you provide them a source of data. So for example, people who came to your store and purchased a specific product, they're going to take that sample of data and actually go out and find users on their platform that are most similar to the people within that source of data. This is immensely powerful because you're going to be getting some of the most targeted audiences that you can possibly create through the Facebook ads platform. The lookalike audience feature itself is probably one of the most valuable things that the Facebook ads platform has to offer to us. And it's actually shocking that a lot of people, one, don't understand it fully, and two, aren't using them to their full potential. So that basically wraps up what a lookalike audience is. It's quite a simple concept to understand, but some people still struggle with what it is, and that should give you the brief understanding of what you need to know. So, to the experienced people, you already knew this. This is nothing new to you. You guys are looking to understand the strategy behind launching lookalike audiences. What is working right now in 2018 for lookalike audience scaling with Facebook ads? Well, I'm going to break down my strategy in depth right now on this video. So, when you're launching your lookalike audiences, there are tons of strategies to do it out there, and I myself have been testing various strategies consistently for the past few months. And truthfully, there are multiple strategies that work. There isn't just one strategy that works perfectly and never messes up. No, there's multiple strategies. But after spending the huge amount of money that I've spent in testing, the strategy that I'm going to present to you is one of the most consistent strategies time in and time out. So the first thing that you need to do is wait for 250 conversions that you are desiring. So what do I mean by this? Like I said, a lookalike audience is basically providing Facebook with a seed audience of people based off of a specific conversion. So that conversion can be anything from people who watched your video ad, people who viewed the content and actually clicked on the link, people who added to cart, and ultimately people who purchased. So you're going to want to wait for at least 250 conversions on the specific conversion that you're looking to create a lookalike for. Now, there is an exception to this. If it's video views, you want at least 10,000 video views. And here is why I say this. If we're talking about a funnel, right, the top level of the funnel would be considered them viewing your ad. And the bottom, the very lowest level of the funnel would be them purchasing. Now, the people at the bottom of this funnel are going to be the most potent and, like we like to say, the most warm seed of audience to target to. So you're going to need less of those to provide to Facebook for Facebook to find you a higher quality audience. But the people at the top of the funnel are more on the cold side of things. And you're going to need more of these so Facebook can actually get an accurate representation of who the potential buyers are going to be for this product. So wait for 250 conversions on the desired objective. Now, there is another exception to this point, but we're going to talk about it when we start talking more about the countries themselves. So once you have the 250 conversions that you are desiring for this specific campaign, you then want to create a custom audience for this conversion. And you're going to want to set the time frame to 90 days. So the custom audience, if you didn't already know, I'm sure a lot of you guys already have an understanding of what this is, but it's basically just getting all those pixel captures and putting them in one set audience so you can use that audience to provide to Facebook to create that lookalike audience. And you can create custom audiences for anything. Like we just said, you can do engagement, you can do view content, add to cart, etc. And the reason why I suggest that you do a 90-day time frame is because you could do the 30-day time frame, but let's say you end up scaling this product and it actually works for the next couple of months. You're going to want to have that longer window of conversions so that Facebook can optimize the lookalike audience to the highest level. So once you've actually got your custom audience set up and you've hit the right amount of conversions for the objective that you want to run with, this is when you can actually start setting up the lookalike audiences themselves. Now, there are a ton of strategies out there, like I said earlier, for actually configuring the lookalike audiences, but this one right here is the most consistent time and time again for me. So here's exactly what I do. I do 1 to 10% single interests, and I'll actually replace single with individual so it makes more sense. Individual. What do I mean by this? So a lookalike audience is based off of a percentage value. 1% being the smallest, most targeted seed of people, 10% being the broadest, least targeted seed of people. So your 10% is going to be a huge audience and your 1% is going to be a smaller, more refined, narrow audience. And this goes all the way up to 10. You're going to want to split these individually and leave them by themselves. And the main reason why I like to do this is because it allows me to get an understanding of which ad set is actually working the best. A lot of people will combine them and put them together, and while this may work, you're never going to have an accurate understanding of which audience is the best performer. So I always split them up. It makes scaling significantly easier for me, and I've just found this to work time and time again. So also, if you're using a third-party software like Shopify, you can use the 15 and 20% lookalikes. And if you have this software available, I suggest setting these up, but it's not make or break if you don't get these set up. So that is basically everything you need to know about the strategy itself. You want to hit that amount of conversions, you want to create your custom audience, and then you want to separate those interests by themselves for that specific conversion. And that is all you need to know for that part of the question. And I'll actually add one more point. You're going to want to test as many as you can. So what do I mean by this? You want to be able to test the view content, the add to cart, the video view, and the purchase, because this is potentially 100 more audiences for you to test and implement on this specific product. And the more audiences you test, the higher chance you find 2, 3 that work, and then you can scale those up to bigger numbers. So you want to test as many as you can. Start with the ones that have the highest amount of conversions. So video view typically, and then view content after that, and then you just keep going down the funnel. But the purchases are typically going to perform the best just because that is the most accurate representation of what the potential buyer is on your store, and Facebook is actually going to go out there and find those people specifically. So that wraps up the strategy that I'm using to launch lookalike audiences. Now, a lot of people I see, one more thing, because I just did a Q&A earlier and somebody had asked me about this, so I just want to say, leave it as is. You don't need any interest. So some people were asking me, do you need to add an interest to the lookalike audience, or do you just launch the lookalike audience by itself? You should just launch the lookalike audience by itself. It's already a powerful audience. You don't need to add anything else to it. Now, we'll move on to the countries. Sorry about that. When it comes to the countries, there are a lot of answers that I could provide for this thing. And this is why I want to loop back to what I said, how there's an exception for those 250 conversions on that first point. So to determine which countries to target, you need to use the breakdown tool to look at the stats. And when I say this, I mean on the campaign level of the product. So go to the campaign level, use the breakdown tool and click on the country. And then you're going to want to sort it by amount spent. And this is going to show you which country or location is your best performer, whether it be the one with the most purchases or just the one with the most traffic or whatnot. And I know a lot of you guys are out there targeting worldwide or targeting multiple countries. So using the breakdown tool is going to show you which country is your best performer. And that's going to be an insight as to which country you should look to target. So you want to find the country that has the desired amount of conversions for your objective. So let's say you're running a campaign and you have 800 purchases on that campaign, but you have 400 in the US, and then you have 20 in Brazil and 40 in Malta and 60 in Europe and etc. You're going to want to go with the United States for that specific country because that is the one with the most amount of conversions, and that's your best, most likely to succeed audience. So use the breakdown tool, determine which ad set or which country is your best performer, and make your decision from there as to if that's the one you're going to want to go with. Now, if you're targeting worldwide, I will say that not every time you're going to find a country that stands out. So it's really crucial that you know this as well. Let's say you're targeting worldwide and you see a widespread array of campaigns, like you see 20 purchases here, 20 here, 30 here, 10 here, 5 here, and there's no country that really stands out in terms of performance. The simple solution to this is use NAFTA as the location if no country stands out. And NAFTA is simply the North American Free Trade Agreement, which consists of Canada, United States, and Mexico. And this is great to target if you're doing worldwide because they're just going to optimize it properly for that region. And I have found that works the best. But try your best to do individual countries because they're going to perform way better. I've tested it time and time again. And yeah, the individual countries are typically going to perform the best. So if you can, do the individuals. If you can't, do NAFTA or wait until you get enough conversions to do the individual. So now that we've broken down the strategy for launching the lookalikes and the countries to target for the lookalikes, I want to talk to you guys about how you can actually take those lookalike audiences and scale them up to a higher level. So there are a few strategies that I use for this, and I want to loop back around. I have one more point that I want to include about the strategy. When you're testing these guys, test at a $5 budget. Now, I'll actually put 5 to 10 here, but you're going to be launching a ton of audiences if you're doing this properly. So you're okay to test at that $5 budget level just simply because it's going to be an extremely expensive test. Now, if you got a little bit of money in your pocket and you have some budget to work with, test it on that $10 budget because it's going to give you faster results. That's what I test with just because we have more budget to play with in our operating expenses, but $5 budget is going to give you the same amount of results. So test the $5 budget and see performance. If you're getting a ROAS of 4x time to scale. So basically what I just typed, test it at the $5 level, and let me actually add one more thing. in 48 hours. So let them run for 48-hour time frame. If it's on $5, if it's on $10, you could just let it run for a day and see what you see. Test it on $5 budget, see the performance in 48 hours. If you're getting a return on ad spend of 4x, let me put the plus here as well, not just 4x. 4x plus, then it is time to scale. So what is the strategy to properly scale these ad sets? So this strategy for me has absolutely crushed it. And it's a little mix-up of a strategy that I learned from a great friend of mine, Mike, and a strategy that I've used myself many times over. So all you do is you duplicate your $5 budget to a $100 budget ad set. And then you're going to let that $100 budget ad set run for another 48 hours. And you're going to see the performance of that ad set after this time window. So check your performance after 48 hours. And same thing, if ROAS 4x plus, scale again. So from this point, there are tons of methods to scale it even further, but Mike's method has worked extremely well for me, so that's what I'm going to break down for you guys now. So simply edit the budget at midnight of this ad set with good returns. Edit the budget to $1,000. Now, this is not for low budget people. This is not for new people. This is for high budget, big spenders. If you're ready to scale your stuff to the next level, this is a strategy that you need to run with. And it's probably going to, no, it's not probably, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So there's a potential risk that you can lose a lot of money, but there's also the opportunity that you can scale your product to 5 figures plus in a day. So edit the budget to $1,000 and change it to manual bid. After you've changed it to manual bid, you're going to want to set the bid as the suggested bid. Now, a lot of the desktop ads managers actually don't have the suggested bid available. So if you're not seeing it, simply use the mobile app to find the suggested bid. It's on there and you can set it up there. So after you set that up, see how the ad set spends. See how it does. If the ad set does not spend, increase the bid 0.50, so 50 cents. If it doesn't spend at all, slowly increase the bid 50 cents until it actually starts spending. And once it begins spending, monitor the ad set closely. Look at this ad set every 15 to 30 minutes to make sure that you're not losing a ton of money, because manual bidding can be incredibly risky in terms of losing money. But increase the bid 50 cents if it's not spending, and if it's spending way too fast, then do the opposite of what I just said and decrease the bid 50 cents. And that breaks down the exact strategy that is required to scale, find, test, and create these lookalike audiences. This strategy is tried and true. It's the exact strategy that I use to get to the level that I'm at, and it is what I'm using to this day to scale products. So I've broken it down fully for you guys here. Even for the people who don't know what a lookalike audience is, you should have a full understanding of the concept and how to use them for your own store. So I'm gonna scroll through this thing really quickly and run through it very briefly one last time. So the best strategy: wait for the specific amount of conversions, create your custom audience, separate the lookalikes 1 to 10% all individually, and if you're using third party, you can do the 15-20 as well. Test them at a $5 to $10 budget, and do not include any interest in these. What countries should you use? You need to use the breakdown tool on your campaign to look at the stats and see which countries are your top performers. Find the country that has the top performance, create your lookalike for that specific country. If there is none available, use the NAFTA location targeting. And if you don't want to do that, simply wait until you have enough data to use the individual countries, because this is what I recommend. So you're going to want to test those, see the performance in a 48-hour time window, and if you're getting a return on ad spend of 4x plus, you really want it to be 4x plus. Anything lower, it's going to be near impossible to scale. Duplicate your $5 budget ad set to a $100 budget ad set. Check your performance on the ad set, and if the return on ad spend is 4x, scale again using the manual bid method that I've outlined right here. Hope you guys got some value from this video. I broke down everything. I didn't leave anything out for you guys. Everything that you need to know about lookalike audiences, and I appreciate you if you stuck around this far all the way to the end. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and drop in the comments what you are struggling with in your current business. I read every single comment and I'm happy to help you guys on specific topics. So don't hesitate to share something that you're struggling with your business and I'll happily help you guys out. But anyways, that is all I have for this video. It feels so good to be back on the YouTube grind and the videos are just gonna be more valuable from this point forward. So I'm excited to be dropping that stuff on you guys and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.